Hi, souls, how are you guys? Twin flame. This topic, it took me several weeks to prepare, and usually I plan to do one video per week, even though I still have a lot of other commitments. But for this topic, I actually took me several weeks to editing, to organize, just to try to make sure that I'm not gonna miss out too much. This is actually, I have my papers that I actually typed in order to make sure that I can include stuff that I want to say the most. This is actually a very common topic right now on the internet, in social media. When I went through those, especially when I was healing and learning those concepts, I see that some of those stuff they said could be right. Some of stuff, everybody has their little bit own perspective, and something they said not quite right. And a lot of them actually operating those topics not really from the point to really help people to heal, to grow, to truly deliver the message for the twin flame journeys concept, but actually did the opposite effect for people's healing journey. So here we go. Have you really encountered a twin flame journey, like a connection? If you did, or if you do, I send my deepest empathy and my love to you, because I know how extremely painful this connection can cause you, and how extremely scary in that after healing journey. And then also I send my biggest congratulations to you, because I know this journey you must experience unbelievable pain in your transformation period of the time. Yet how truly blessed you are that for this, having this opportunity from the universe in this lifetime to have this most aggressive self-growth and the soul awakening transformation. So, and also the how aggressive and a huge soul transformation, soul growth, as this twin flame connection actually can be. So for this, please check out my book that based on my own journey, is this book here, Heal the Narcissistic Traits Back to Wholeness. So this book is actually quite thin. It's not like that thick book, so you can read through in pretty much very quick time. So I'm gonna leave my link in this talk, in this description, so you can find this book on Amazon. So what this book do is basically it is my way to share some amazing and unique twin flame traits in these connections that I experienced, which a lot of people experienced, and the reality of the challenging, scary, yet blissful major healing process that I personally went through. My personal journey carries a beautiful message about how the dark can actually ignite into transform to the light. So this is not typical just a heal. It's like you will find out in my book that not only any kind of personality people could heal, but it has to take certain level of the opportunity, and also I think I would say depends on your soul structure and a contract as well. If you got this opportunity in this lifetime, yes, I think that no matter what kind of personality traits you have, you could heal, especially if you're really ready to. So the concept of the twin flame suggests that two parts of the soul that deeply connected. a deep, often very transformative spiritual relationship that goes beyond romantic attachment or idealization. So people often believe to be two halves of the one soul that have been separated and are destined to reunite. So in this topic here, in my later topic, I will actually debunk or explain some misconceptions of destined to be reunite. I think this word, the destined to be reunion, this word really harmed a lot of people who on the internet, who is seeking some real answers of their painful journey. And also some people, they're not even real twin flame connections and they think they are, so they fall into this fantasy trap of destined to be reunion, and in reality they actually further delay their own self-growth. So I will explain that, and I think that's one of the part very important. So many traditions and the people who believed in this idea hold that the twin flames have a unique bond and their reunion is inevitable, though it may take time, growth, and overcoming some challenges. So however, whether twin flame will or are meant to reunite in this lifetime is not universally agreed upon. Some believe that reunion is destined, which could be true, but destined in what time? That is the most misunderstood concept. Lots of people get anxious about when they will be reunited, and then take it as the most determined thing to happen in this lifetime. They basically in that waiting energy, waiting for this happen. So their focusing is not really on the true actual self reflection and the healing and become a whole. They think there's a magic, if they wait, this could just happen because it's destined. So this creates a considerable amount of false self-healing work and false self-growth. Please understand, the universe knows the different energy from someone who is manipulating the outcome and someone really doing the real action to get a real outcome. It's all energy. So the desperate need to be, in reunion, ultimately basically delays the true purpose of the twin flame connection, the true twin flame journey. So I strongly encourage you guys who are seeking authentic knowledge about twin flames on the internet, on the social media, please don't buy into those fantasies of magic reunion, destined reunion, especially they basically talking about in this lifetime, and then that make a lot of people just keep waiting, cannot really move forward. So this only further delay your soul growth journey, and the many internet content use people's vulnerable emotional state. Especially when you broke up and then you thought this person is your twin flame, you're gonna be in a very, very deep sorrow, very deep vulnerable state of your emotions psychologically, and by those content using your vulnerability to make you put you on all focusing all become like obsession about this reunion, without telling the real purpose of the people who encounter this connection. The real purpose of the twin flame connection is not about waiting for you reunion, and not just because I know right now. It's because I see so many people went through this heartache, and then they still not really reunion. and then they still magically waiting for that reunion in this lifetime. So I will explain more about this later. So what is worse is that many people who are not really twin flame, they actually may be some kind of deep karmic relationship, that kind of connection, but they thought themselves are a twin flame connection. So these people are very easily, get lured into this kind of concept, hoping, the twin flame is some kind of magic potion that will help them to get their toxic partner, karmic partner back, or because of this, descendant, connection, reunion. So somehow they're gonna manipulate their toxic partner to come back to them. Rather, it is to educate people that the true twin flame experience is a mirror that reflects your own deepest truth. Your own deepest truth, reflecting you, who you actually are, what kind of shadow you actually have, which can be extremely painful and challenging, but ultimately lead to spiritual evolution. So please understand the importance, meaning of this twin flame journey is to focus on your own growth rather than waiting for an external reunion to complete you. Here, I would like to share some authentic and deep knowledge of twin flame. The twin flame may or may not necessarily reunite in every lifetime due to various factors such as individual growth, your personal lessons, or timing. True healing is not about physical reunion, but about your soul growth, about your self-awareness, about your individual wholeness, and the state of your higher consciousness. That is the meaning of this encounter, this experience. This is actually the real purpose of this connection. In practical terms, if two people are real authentic twin flames, their reunion might be seen as part of a larger spiritual journey that requires both individuals to go do their own evolve emotionally and spiritually, which means sometimes the purpose is for one or both souls. They have to go their separate way. They have to go through a period of the solo growth and the healing before any reunion could even take place, if at all. If this physical reunion in this lifetime on the earth realm is really actually necessary at all. Okay, so sometimes this reunion happens in this lifetime, while others might not. Ultimately, whether a twin flame couples get back together in this lifetime or another many lifetimes later, it depends on their personal path and readiness for the reunion. You should focus on your own personal growth and trust in the process. As these conditions often emphasize healing, self-awareness, and transformation. So let's talk about quantum entanglement in science first, because my job or as a messenger for the universe, I am here is to give a little bit assistance, helping bridging the science side and the spiritual field. So I actually studied very deep. So I'm going to start talking about the quantum entanglement in the science side. Then I would like to talk about the same kind of quantum connection in humans, which is twin flame connection. In quantum mechanics, when two particles are entangled, their properties become correlated, so that the state of one particle instantly affects the state of the other, regardless of the distance between them. However, this does not mean that the particles reconnect or come back together in a physical sense. I'm talking about the quantum entanglement in the science, the particles in the space, in the universe. So the phenomenon of quantum entanglement does not involve particles traveling or physically moving towards each other. Instead, it refers to a shared quantum state, conscious. So once the particles are entangled, their properties, like a spin, like a polarization, like a position, they actually remain correlated as long as they are measured or observed. So here said as long as they are measured or observed is the conclusion that from current scientific studies and understanding. In my deep conscious, or the downloads I have, the information I have from the universe, from the higher advanced knowing, I would say the two particles spin, polarization or position may remain correlated constantly or unconsciously, measured, observed, or not measured, observed. The quantum field is an infinite energy field. It's an infinite energy connection, a telepathic connection, which it doesn't really need to be measured or observed in order to know its nature of entanglement. That's my knowing. So this knowing could prove in the future, could be right or wrong in the future with more spiritual, matured, evolved scientific studies or discoveries. So what I mean is that we're all the same. Universe we're part of the universe. If these particles in the universe, they entangle with each other in the quantum state, in the conscious level. So it doesn't, current scientific is thinking that we have to, they get entangled once we measure, when we start to observe one state and another state actually gonna, correlated, responding to the state of the particle. They think because once we have to observe in order to see this happen. But telepathic conscious is the whole one thing. Whether you measure or not measure, it's happening anyway. That's how I understand. That's how I see through from my connection with this twin flame man, this twin flame person. So a lot of times it's like I don't need to really observe my connection, this kind of quantum entanglement with him. I know it is there. So I think that will up to future science to prove whether I'm wrong or right. I feel I am right. Okay, so the quantum entanglement itself doesn't dictate the particles will ever meet again. So this is what about the physical reunion in this universal, in the quantum entanglement theories. In quantum entanglement, the particles remain, like two parts remain this state of the entanglement, but they don't really physically eventually come back together. The two particles is not really coming back together. They don't need that because this is a conscious connection. This is not about the physical anymore. It's not about the matter, about physical. It's our quantum. It's our conscious. it's a telepathic state of the mind. Okay, so the quantum entanglement itself doesn't dictate the particle will ever meet again. The entanglement is not a force that brings particles back together in space. It is a relationship of their quantum states. So, unless other forces act upon on the particles, such as gravitational or electromagnetic forces, so they will continue to move independently according to their individual dynamics. Therefore, the spooky action Einstein referred to in the entanglement is about the correlation between their states, not the physical reunion. And in quantum mechanics, entangled particles are deeply correlated in a way that one particle's state instantly influences the other, no matter the distance. Similarly, the idea of twin flames in many spiritual traditions suggests that the two souls, once deeply connected, maintain a profound, almost inexplicable bond that transcends physical separation. Like entangled particles, twin flames might feel each other's emotions, thoughts, or actions across vast distance, or even during times of separation. And this kind of feel each other, usually the universe will find a way to let both of you to realize actually this happened to both of you, not just the one of you. That's the difference between the real twin flame. That's one of the actually thing for you to recognize a real twin flame, and then also the false twin flame, or you can call karmic relationship. So, which is a lot of people, they mistakenly identify themselves as twin flame. The twin flame connection, this kind of quantum entangle, it's not like only one side, one party, or thinking, okay, I feel her feeling, I feel his feeling, I feel his emotion. But and then another side said, no, I don't know, I don't think so. No, I don't think that's a real twin flame. The twin flame, no matter how I would say how impossible, like me and this twin flame man, we both are science nerds, and especially him, he's a PhD nerd, he's a mathematics nerd. There's no way he's going to just fall for those kind of things. If he didn't feel it, if there's no real the evidence showed into his eyes, so he, and even like that, even with this kind of impossible dynamic, you think that how a science nerd will believe this stuff, but the universe will find a way to throw this kind of reality to him again and again. So he knows too. He knows he's actually terrified about this connection, because there's no way he can deny this. So this is how the real connection, the real twin flame, I think, it's two states, not just the one state, believe this is actually that kind of connection. Through my book, you will see that I actually had several this kind of quantum entanglement, very, very distinctive connection, like distinctive phenomenon between me and him. And I actually mentioned in this book, you will see how really extraordinary odd, because me and him, even myself, before I went into this journey and met him, I never really understand, or I never even know what twin flame is. I didn't put any effort in this kind of thing at all. I didn't even know this name. And that's how the universe gonna find its way to let you know. That's why when I see some people on the internet, they were talking about, oh my god, I want to meet my twin flame, or they will say, okay, yes, I'm just I'm going out to, you know, dating site, I'm gonna find my twin flame. I'm so sorry. I don't think that's how that goes. I don't think so. I'll explain more, then you will know why that's not the way to go. So the quantum entanglement involves two particles, which is a form of energy. That so do our souls. Our souls are energy, it's that speck of energy. With this similarity, the concept of twin flame in many traditions doesn't guarantee a physical reunion. Especially if you're expecting fully, it has to happen in this lifetime. I actually don't think that's a guarantee thing. And I actually feel for a lot of, in some ways, I prefer not have a physical reunion. And then please listen to why. Even though this is often an emotional or energetic connection that remains even if the individual are not physically together. That is 100%, 1000% true. I'm not being with him for 4 years already now. I never feel he's really separate from me. Even though physically I never contact him, we don't have any contact. I remain myself, just be with myself. Just make sure that I'm whole. I feel good, I feel content, I feel peace within. I already got to that state. Even like that, even I know I healed very highly now, I'm not really, more physical, more yourself really healed to a very higher level, more I feel unlikely I want to really have that physical reunion. So this connection can manifest as deep synchrony in life events, from the emotions or your choices to do things, or regardless of physical proximity. So yes, this connection will manifest some synchronicity in your life. That's which I mentioned in my book too. There's something I do in Texas, and the things he's doing exactly the same thing for exactly the same thing, same object in California. And remember, we never mentioned that's something we want to do. We never had any contact. We both don't do any social media. I don't do any I don't do any other social media than I'm actually having this YouTube right now, and he doesn't even know I have a YouTube right now. So this connection can so that means even you, no matter how far you guys are, if it's a real twin flame connection, it's like a scary miracle, like something you do here and then that side in another state, he's doing the same thing, just like that kind of quantum entanglement. So in another word, the souls remain forever connected in a very deep quantum-like relationship. So this doesn't necessarily mean that they will reunite in a physical sense. The connection itself is more about shared energy and the spiritual alignment than the physical proximity. In this metaphorical framework, the twin flames are just like quantum entangled particles, inseparable in a deeper energetic sense, but their physical reunion is not guaranteed or even required for the bond to persist. Please let me repeat this one again. The physical reunion is not guaranteed or even required for the bond to persist. The twin flame connection transcends the physical and enters the realm of shared consciousness, where the bond in the both individuals are energetically tuned into each other, often without any conscious effort. Let me repeat this word again, please. Often without any conscious effort. That's why I mentioned that, you know, me and then this twin flame man, we don't have any conscious effort because we didn't believe these things at all. I actually start to really realize that we are a twin flame connection, or I finally willing to use this label for us, is after our 5 years relationship, after the final breakup. So I think that put me into the deepest pain, and that's where I start realizing how this can happen. You know, this connection is so real, but why we are like this kind of way? Why we are like this? Why, you know, that's those questions led me to start to searching about what I actually had. Another thing is like those quantum entanglement, those kind of phenomena, like if he do things here that I actually in a far place, like we don't know each other, we don't have any connection, contact. Ending up later on when we got back together, we found out, and then we actually realized we were doing the same thing, and then whatever he does actually will come into my here. This is my, you guys call it third eye. This is actually our subconscious, you know, area. So it went in here, that word shows up, and then later on I mentioned to him about this. He will get terrified. He'll get like really silent for a while, because that's when I said that. At that time, I actually, this word came to my head here. Later on, he finally said, he said, actually at that time I was just in that place. The word actually in my head is the place that he wore. So that's how that connection go. And please also understand, before this twin flame connection, before my 40, I would say before my 40s, before, because I met him at I was like end of the 39, I was 40. So 40 years old, I met him. Before that time, I had absolutely zero psychic ability, because I don't believe that stuff. I didn't believe that stuff because I was more material science, you know, oriented. I don't believe that kind of stuff. I would just listen to you, but I would just laugh about it. So I didn't think, you know, and then during that connection with him, the relationship with him, this actually everything start to, I would say, kind of like, I guess, like activated little by little. So that's where when we, after later on in the later years of our breakup, this kind of connection, this kind of entanglement shows more and more clear, more and more obvious. So that's how that goes, without any effort. I didn't know we were twin flame. I didn't think I had any psychic ability. So because you are so effortless, you have no effort, you don't put any effort, you don't manipulate the real thing comes. That's how I see it. So what happened when one or both twin flame are healed highly and okay, sorry. So what happened when one or both twins are not healed highly and forced into a reunion? Or maybe, you know, one twin or both didn't do enough real self-work, healing work, but they are kind of like, they really just want to get, you know, achieve the goal of reunion. So basically become manipulated a reunion. So they force this physical reunion. So first of all, a real twin flame is unlikely to be very desperate for that kind of physical reunion. Why? Because if you start really realize this is a true twin flame connection, I guarantee you're gonna be in so deep pain. This pain is not from your ego. It's very different than some other connection that can cause your pain. This pain is your soul. Your soul in deep pain. This kind of deeply hurting in your soul is going to need a lot of time to be alone, to, you know, find a space to heal. And it takes a lot of time, long years, sometimes years of the time to process and heal. And then eventually you're gonna grow. So because of this, most unlikely the real twin flame will just keep after years gonna still desperate for that kind of reunion, physical reunion. I don't think so. Okay, maybe there are true twin flame has that kind of desperation. Maybe they're different. I accept difference. But from what I can see, I actually can recognize people who has that true twin flame energy and who is not. So I see few of them has that true twin flame energy in the social media. I see them all have this kind of conclusion. Most of the actually real twin flame are not really physical reunion at this time, in this lifetime. Few of them, they seems like real twin flame, they reunioned in this lifetime in physical. But I wonder, this is the thing I wonder, why it's not best idea to reunion in the physical realm. Because if you guys reunion in the physical realm, let's say you both healed a lot, even though you healed a lot. So this physical realm here, this earth here, once you got together, you're gonna basically start entangle, you kind of pull back into this, some people call the matrix. So you're gonna pull back into this, material realm again. So whatever this realm, it's never about soul. It's like a soul. This realm is not about the soul can be really become a full wholeness, because this realm is for us to fragment it into different kind of physical realm and then experience different kind of happy, joy, pain, suffer, and anger, everything. It's for us to come here to experience those. So I think that a real twin flame either could be in really the most pure in a harmony reunion, if they both decided to live in this kind of far from the civilization or from this crowding place, and then make sure they constantly continually practicing their soul ascension and soul purification, and that work. I think that could work. But if you reunion and you still cut into this kind of material world, and then you're still gonna worry about the money, finance, and then other things, you're just gonna constantly feel, time to time you're gonna feel some kind of anxious or depression or anger with each other or by myself, by yourself. I don't think that physical reunion is really meant to be. Yeah, I think that you basically you want to have that reunion, you made it, but does that really help you to ascending for your, I would say, grow in your soul, or become like the does that really necessary? I don't know. For my personally, I feel I don't think so. But everybody deserves, you hold your own opinion for this. If it's a real twin flame connection person, you guys separated, and then you're not like that really. Eventually, beginning you're gonna feel same way. You're gonna feel very, very painful. You're gonna somehow feel like you still want to be with that person. You really feel like you cannot really separate yourself with that person. That's understandable. But after certain amount of time in your healing, more you're healed, you feel content, peaceful with yourself, secure with yourself. By that kind of stage, unlikely you're gonna be still very desperately wanted this physical union. And also, the more healing a true twin flame person conquered, the more realization will come to the to the connection that the more realization will come to understanding this connection's true meaning and the purpose. So with this true realization, the desperation of physical reunion become much less intense, and then become more in peace with the self. So you're more and more okay with the arrangement of the universe for whatever the timing. In some cases, what if the twin flame, they didn't get to the highly healed level and then get back together again? So they got back together, but one or both not healed highly yet. The answer is very simple. You two eventually will repeat the breakup cycle. Or you two have to not live in the truth of yourself, just for the sake of being physically reunion. Only these two ways. You're either gonna repeating your breakup cycles, or you're gonna have to hide yourself, hide that true purpose of this journey, and then just to make sure you guys physically together. But what is the point? You're wasting the connection of this purpose, this lifetime, because twin flame can if you're not fulfill the real purpose of this twin flame connection, this journey, most likely you're gonna repeat it another lifetime, one of another lifetime, or one of some many lifetime later. So it's up to you. It's your choice. It's your freedom that you can choose that you wanna get more done in this lifetime for this sole purpose, or you wanna delay. You wanna just for the sake of physical together, but you both actually not quite there yet, and then you're gonna have to come back again and again to do this again. So that's your choice. Okay, so the twin flame connection is sometimes some people say the twin flame connection is actually it's just thought of some kind of mirror relationship. So your soul's counterpart reflecting aspects of yourself. This is a big one because I've seen so many YouTube channels talking about the twin flame connection is mirroring each other. It's a mirroring. They keep saying it's a mirroring. So that's why I see so many false information for this part of the concept, mirroring. That's why I see so many karmic relationship people fall for this, thinking themselves are twin flames because they think their partner is mirroring themselves with each other. Okay, so this is a very huge misconception of mirroring. Please let me to this first time in here to formally explain what the real mirror in twin flame, and then also the mirroring in karmic relationships. Okay, so let me start from the karmic one. The karmic connections, which is the most huge percentage of the relationship in our earth right now, on the earth right now. So karmic relationship usually involves a narcissistic person with a codependent, either codependent empath or that kind of dynamic. That's the most common one. I'm not saying there's no other ones, but that's the major one. So in this dynamic, usually the narcissistic person tend to be mirror whatever the codependent want to do, like to do, want to say, like to say, especially at the very beginning. So that's because they are creating that kind of they basically trying to make you feel like you are one of them, right? Like so when they do that, the codependent one often believed that they just found that twin, because this person is actually shows them that what I like to do, he like to do, what I believe, he like to believe. So especially beginning, right? And later on everything changed, right? So but because of that beginning, so a lot of people fall into that the fantasy of we're mirroring each other. Sometimes a codependent will basically lose themselves and then changing their true self in order to basically acting accordingly to what the narcissist wanted, right? So you are mirroring that person back too. So you call that mirror. You think that's twin flame? That's not. That's because you both are actually behaved, operated from your own fear and the lacking and the insecurity. You're trying to become that person who yourself actually are not. So you're trying to use that like as a manipulation. So you make people, you too feel like a more closer, kind of very special. But this is false, because later on, the narcissist is gonna flip everything over, because that's not themselves. That's the mirroring, whatever he made you feel so familiar. It's like yourself, like some kind of soulmate. Eventually gonna, totally not. So that's not that's called mirroring. Like I'm manipulatively trying to acting like you. That's mirroring. Twin flame is not mirroring. It's called mirror. Twin flame is like a lot of times, like I would say, you both are unintentionally doing the same thing, behave the same thing. A lot of times you think the same thing because you guys are the same. So your sex life is extremely familiar with each other without even verbally like a disclosure or explain like what you like, what you want. It's just naturally easy, like very easy together. I would not need to tell him what I prefer. He didn't tell me what he prefer. It just naturally, you feel like, oh my God, that's what I like this. Like, oh my God, why I feel so comfortable with him? Why he feels so comfortable with me, with this kind of certain things? So it's not about mirroring, because I didn't really tell him so much about what I like, what I prefer. He even worse, he doesn't tell me at all, because he's more like I would say he's aware of those kind of manipulative game. So he actually, a lot of time I feel he's observing me, see if I'm actually trying to faking it or manipulating or mirroring him in order to make him feel like we're some kind of like a very, like soul connection. He's watching that. I can feel that. So it's kind of very weird. But a lot of time the real twin flame is a mirror. And then also this kind of mirror effect, you don't really realize at the very beginning of your connection, your relationship. It is, for me, it's like after years, after almost we done the last, break up. When I look back, that's where I start to finally realize that he actually is my mirror. What does that mean? Is that this person is exactly you. So like you facing yourself. So like this is your mirror. You are facing this mirror. And beginning you don't even believe that, because this is too scary. Who wanna see ourselves? Who wanna see ourselves? We're bad too. We have some bad shit too. Who wanna see ourselves like that? But this particular person, this mirror shows you exactly who you are, who I am. In that mirror, I see myself in that mirror, and then I see my good thing. I see my strength, which is we both are extremely intelligent. We both are, actually deeply emotional, but we both are very reserved on the surface. And there's so many things, and we both have some kind of good, self-control in a lot of ways. We both don't do those kind of, destructive habits. We don't do alcohol. We don't do smoke. We don't do gamble. We don't do that kind of stuff. We both. So you see the good strength in that mirror of yourself. I saw myself in him. And then also I saw my best self, which is I never want to acknowledge or I never can see. I see myself in him, in that mirror. He's my mirror. That is the scary part. That's where this connection, basically is to teach us to finally self-aware, to see ourselves. Because we human has, capability and a tendency to always, like a project to outside, seeking outward. We blame outward. We basically projecting our own problem, our own haters to others. We do that kind of stuff every single hour, single second in this on this planet. And most people, we don't have that capability to even see ourselves in that way. I believe universe has so many ways to catalyze this kind of self-realization in many forms, not just the only twin flame, but twin flame definitely is one of them. It is very painful, very, very devastating when you actually see yourself. Finally, the first time in your life, you see yourself. You see that's where you really are. You're not only just see your better part, your good part, you also see the most horrifying that you never want to see, or you don't want to admit yourself, is that now you finally see you are that. So that's where it will trigger you to wade into that kind of like an extremely painful solo healing journey, without to see our own shadow and see so clear. How you're gonna be able to know that we have something that we need to working on for ourselves, right? So yes, twin flame has a mirror. That's why a lot of even some spiritual groups, they didn't understand this part because themselves didn't really go through the real twin flame. So they keep saying the mirroring. That's kind of eventually misled so many people, believed that they're twin flame themselves. So some other confusion is about twin flame connection. That is twin flame rare? This is one of the big questions. Is twin flame rare? Another question is, do we all have a twin flame? Another question is, should you be looking for your twin flame like you are looking for other kind of connections? Another question is, what if your twin is dating or marrying another person? So please allow me to answer them one by one. So some people believe that everybody has a twin flame in the spiritual world, but not everyone's twin flame will be incarnated in this lifetime to meet you. In each lifetime, only very few twin flames were incarnated in the same lifetime for the purpose of growing. This means you may encounter your twin flame in one of the future lifetime, depending on where your soul growth is and what your soul lessons you are ready for. So another opinion about how rare the twin flame is, the twin flame indeed is very rare connection, because the soul split can be rare. Not all souls needs to split to learn and grow. Just like most humans don't have a twin sibling, right? We don't, in biological sense, not like every of us have a twin brother sisters. The ratio of biological twins in the world is maximum 1 to 2%, which includes the genetic twin birth and the fertility treatments. Without fertility treatments, probably even lesser than 2%, I would say, probably about 1%. The ideas of a soul being split into two parts that both incarnate and live independently. The ideas of a soul being split into two parts that both incarnate and live independent lives is not common. It requires specific soul qualities or energies that allow for such a deep, transformative connection. The energetic structure of a soul determines whether a soul is capable of splitting into twin flames. So therefore, the energetic structure of a soul determines whether a soul is capable of splitting into twin flames. Therefore, not every soul has the necessary qualities or the readiness to undergo such an intense process. Souls destined to split would have a particular vibration or frequency that enables this deep connection, just as certain genetic configurations results in identical twins being born. So in my deep conscious of the knowing, my downloads, I think no matter who, everyone has twin flame, but just, you're gonna only meet certain few twin flame, in each lifetime line. Or another concept that, only, very small amount of the souls actually capable, and meant to split to go through this kind of journey. It doesn't matter which one, because I actually listed two different kind of, concepts. No matter which one, the real twin flame connection, in the end, it is in each lifetime. In my knowing is like, no matter which concept you actually prefer, but in the end, my knowing is the real twin flame connection in each lifetime could be about less than 1% or maximum 1% of the human in this entire world. So don't forget that our Earth now has, we have about 8.2 billion people on this Earth in 2025. So with the 1% of the entire world, it's gonna be about 80 million human souls could potentially encounter this true twin flame connection in this lifetime. Yeah, let's say if we have 1% of real twin flames, the entire world will gonna be about 80 million. So it's about what? 40 million couples encounter this very rare connection. So no matter which opinion you prefer, you should not go under the street. You should not go on the street or on the internet looking for your twin flame. Because twin flame is not for you to looking for. It's not for you to, it's like my mission this time is to find my twin flame. I've heard that in the social media. It's kind of, I worry about those people. My goal is to find my twin flame. Because the twin flame journey is about your readiness for your soul, from your soul contract. It is orchestrated by the universe for its timing, not by your manipulation or the act based on your lacking of looking for some magical love to complete you. It's not gonna based on that. I'm sorry, my dears. Yeah, it's just, it's like one of the experience that, universe wanna souls to go through. But because this is extremely most intense and the most painful, connection journey, so the universe has its mercy, almost like has its mercy to only just, every lifetime, only, allow, very few people, 80 million people to go under through this. Because the vast of people are not at this, readiness yet. Most of souls might have so many other lessons they need to learn, and so many other paths they need to go through first. So that's how that is. It's not like a twin flame is some kind of very special, unique, oh, super, the most superior something. That's that's the ego thing. That's not the spiritual thing. That's not the love. That's definitely not what Twin Flame trying to teach us, or trying to make us understand about the souls. So yeah, I would say that, you know, we might all gonna come here to experience this Twin Flame journey, but you know, when you're ready, you're gonna experience. It means one of the lifetime. Most of them probably not gonna experience in this lifetime. That's okay. You know, you have to enjoy your own journey. So a message from a person. She actually, I know this person. So she said something. She actually sent me a message because she is on this journey. She gave me the message. She said that the sad part is, no matter how much I have been healed, how much I am now in wholesome within, I lost feelings for dating others. I always have a hole in me. I know his soul is with me. He knows too. It's been several years, you know, of my solo healing journey. I became okay with myself, just be with myself, but the sadness occurs from time to time. I know he's not going to be with me. Perhaps, you know, this lifetime in the physical realm. Perhaps, so she said this kind of stuff. So my answer to her was, like I said, I deeply understand your feelings. I am very moved by the depths of your journey, both the healing and the ongoing sense of loss. What you are experiencing is not just about a connection with someone else, but the profound sense of belonging to a love that transcends the physical realm, which can be simultaneously very beautiful but very, very painful. The Twin Flame journey is often marked by this kind of paradox. You know, the deep, almost inexplicable bond between the souls that feels eternal and unwavering. At the same time, the earthly circumstances don't always align for the physical union. Many who walk on this path experience, you know, this kind of same kind of feelings, feeling whole within themselves because they truly done some real healing work, and are growing stronger and more self-sufficient, but still they carrying a certain ache, a sense of a hole that that, you know, it's like, you know, it's like that sense of that kind of, you know, you feel a hole here because of the absence of the one that you feel so deeply connected to. And I think it's important to honor both parts of this kind of experience, this kind of feelings. The growth, you know, you made, the growth that a lot of people have made, and then the self-love and the healing that have brought you to this place of inner peace, and also the sadness and the longing that arise from time to time, not having the physical reunion with your twin flame. This sadness isn't something that necessarily means you failed or you haven't healed enough. Actually, a lot of people that I know, few people, actually, because I know few real twin flame, you know, people, they healed a lot. They became true, you know, true spiritual teachers. They became, you know, very good, you know, talented, you know, healers. They became they became master, you know, like, you know, they hold a lot of wisdom, and I could even thank few of them that I actually learned from. So these people went through extraordinary healing journey. They highly healed. They actually became purified in love themselves. Even with that, they still all express the similar thing, that they can always feel that kind of ache in them. That's very, very common, very understandable, and it's just simply a part of the deeper soul level experience that doesn't have any easy resolution in this earthly lifetime. That is my message to this true, all the true twin flames, who are now on your journey, or you already done your journey, or you are going into this journey. This is my whole heartfelt message to you. Please, it's okay. Yeah, please validate this kind of feelings. It is real. It's okay. So some people who walks on this path of twin flames come to the terms that the idea that their soul connection may not manifest in the form they once hoped for, especially in this in this 3D world. Instead, they learn to honor that connection as a spiritual gift, a relationship that exists on a very different plane. The sadness that arises from knowing your twin flame isn't physically available to you in this realm is a form of grieving, but it's also a deep acknowledgement of the love you shared on the level beyond the limitations of time and space. Please honor this connection. This connection is actually belongs beyond this plane. It's beyond the time and the space. So please don't try to forcefully and then thinking you must have reunion in this physical, in this earth realm here. If it really happens, if it really you both are highly healed and then you truly understand this journey with each other, that's beautiful. That's great. I congratulate you. I really feel so happy for you. But if it's not, that's actually very okay too. So while the longing for your twin flame may always exist from time to time or in some form, that doesn't mean that you are forever bound to isolation. You have your freedom to consciously choose whether you want to live alone for the rest of your life, or if you allow yourself to love others, though perhaps in a different ways. Your connection with your twin flame is unique, but it doesn't mean that your heart is closed to the world or to other forms of the love. Even if you walk the solo journey like where I am right now, because I've been solo living for 4 years, and I still don't feel that kind of urge to must be with someone new or somebody. I also don't have that urge to physically reunion with my twin flame too. I just let it be. I let whatever happens. That's it. At the same time, I am okay to be with myself. I think that's the most beautiful thing. I have never feel like this kind of way in my past 40 some years. I'm really appreciate how I feel right now. When you start feel this kind of way, you feel so sad, you feel so bad for people who still feel so much anxious, or some people feel so depressed, or some people feel so fearful, living in their life. I feel so bad for them. So I appreciate where I am right now, and then I have all my compassion for the people in the world, how they live, So finally, let's not forget that how important and meaningful all other connections in our life. Let's not make the twin flame connection as some kind of superior, the only thing, some kind of rose color magic love potion, to misleading people into some kind of obsessing about this label, and the delay in reflecting every type of the connection showed up in our life. All connections are designed to do the same thing as twin flame. It teaches you about yourself, teach you about the true love. Some connections just can be more peaceful and less intense, such as like a soulmate connection. Some connection can be very harsh and painful, but less intense, and usually crush on your ego level. For example, like a karmic connections. I actually will do another episode trying to specifically talking about this different kind of connections and then what they're meant to be, what they're supposed to do, you know, what the lesson they're supposed to teach us. I could do that one in the future. So may all of us work well on our own journey, no matter you are on your own or you are with your karmic relationship or you are with your soulmate relationship or you are with your twin flame. Be yourself, your soul, and the universe. Thank you very much. I love you guys.